I just watched Body Heat for the first time thanks to this lovely comment here. I'm still stressed out from this from this movie. Let's get up into it. So we start out with this fine ass man, Ned. Okay, Ned has game. Ned is pulling the hose left and right. He has no problem doing so because he's very charming and he's a hot guy. Ned one day is at the beach and he meets this really beautiful woman. Okay, her name is Maddie. He insists on buying her a drink. She's like, nah, I'm married, leave me alone. She says, but you can buy me a snow cone because it's hot as hell. Okay, it's hot as hell wherever they are. It's hot as shit all the time and they always sweating. He goes and buys her a snow cone. They're talking and running their mouths, and then he says that he needs some tending to, and that gagged the shit out of Maddie for some reason, and she spilled some snow cone all on her dress. So he's like, look, let me go and get a paper towel. So he goes into the men's bathroom, gets a paper towel, comes back, Maddie is gone. Bitch, Ned goes to his favorite bar the next day and he sees that Maddie is there. When Maddie met Ned the other night, she told him that her husband is never home, that he's always out of town for work. Now I know that her husband is fucking somebody else, but we're gonna come back to him later to whack him, okay? So because Ned is so fine, he got all this game, he convinces Maddie to allow him to follow her home, and so she ends up slapping the shit out of him so that they don't look suspicious when he follows her car. All right, so he goes to her house. Her big beautiful fucking castle that her and her husband Edmund have is really Edmund's. All right, but we're gonna get into that later too. But anyway, so he's at the house, he's looking around, looking at the wind chimes that she said that, you know, have been blowing, but it's still hot as shit outside. So he's looking around, and then she's like, look, you need to go. She's like, okay, because I'm weak. And then she kisses him, and then she goes in the house and she locks the door. Okay, now thinking about all this after watching this movie, bitch, Matt, we gonna get into it later. Okay, so he's outside and he's so turned on. She's so turned on. It is hot. Okay, like the weather is hot, like the energy is hot. It's just hot, bitch. So he's outside, he's looking at her through the windows, and he's like, fuck this shit. He goes and he gets the chair, he throws that shit through the window. He goes in there and they make love, bitch. Do you hear me? I mean, hot love. So they start fucking, but they are doing it on a regular basis now. She is not fond of her husband, Edmund. She says that he's mean, small, and weak. I'm like, damn, Edmund, you ain't got no game. One night, Ned comes there and he sees a woman. He sees her backside, and it does look like Maddie. So he goes up to her and literally says, wanna fuck? And she turns around, she's like, oh, you must be looking for Maddie, baby, because I don't know you. Okay, so he's like, oh, I'm sorry, my bad. And then that's when Maddie comes out, and then they correct the whole thing. That's actually her friend Marianne. So Ned and Maddie are opening up to each other. They're really getting to know each other. They're like in love with each other. Okay, and Maddie says to Ned one day that she just wishes that Edmund was dead. And I'm like, hold to it. Ned kind of taps into it, and he's like, we can, maybe he can, we can make that happen. She's like, no, don't think about it, because when you think about it, it's actually gonna happen. So we actually do end up meeting her corny ass husband Edmund. Okay, he is as corny as she described. He actually brings his niece over, Roz's daughter Helen, without even saying anything to Maddie about it. So now Maddie has to babysit this little girl Heather. Edmund he leaves for work again, and so it's only Maddie with her niece Heather. And Maddie does tell Ned, listen, you can't come because my niece is here. He ends up coming over there anyway, and he comes over and he's ready to get to it. Okay, he's ready to get down, and they start. Okay, and then the niece Heather, she comes and she sees him. And I'm like, this is really sloppy. So one night, Ned runs into Maddie and her husband Edmund at a restaurant, and Edmund actually invites Ned to join them for dinner. And so Edmund is very chauvinistic. He's very corny. He's just like, he's not it at all. And so Maddie goes to the bathroom, and Edmund literally says to Ned, if my wife is ever cheating on a man, I would unalive him with my bare hands. And I'm like, damn. Edmund has been home for a few days, with his wife, and he ends up leaving for work again. And apparently that drives Maddie crazy because she goes to Ned's office. Ned is there and he sees her unexpectedly, like, girl, what are you doing here? And she tells him that she just can't do it anymore. She is so over it. And then that's when Ned is like, look, we gotta watch the phone calls. We gotta do all of this stuff. And she's like, why? Why all of a sudden? He said, because we're gonna unalive him. And I was like, I wasn't ready. And so they start to prepare and plan it out. So the night has come, and the plan is for Edmund to go downstairs at a certain time in order for this plan to go into play. Mind you, Ned has prepared a lot of things, including some fire stuff. Okay, if you know what I'm saying. I'm trying to be careful here. But Edmund wakes up in the middle of the night, and he ends up going downstairs or heading downstairs a little early, and then Maddie's like, oh no, I can't sleep either. And so they end up fucking, probably for the first time in a very long time. So after they fuck, he hears a noise downstairs, and she's like, oh no, don't go. And so he starts going. Well, first he grabs his piece that she didn't even know he had. So he grabs his piece and he goes downstairs, and she does yell out to Ned he has a piece. And so Ned comes out of the closet, bitch, with a piece of wood. All right. Now, it does work out, but Edmund almost took him out. Okay, it almost didn't work out. So I'm like, that was your plan, a piece of wood? And it worked out, but Edmund did end up seeing his face. Anyway, they finish him off. They put his body in the trunk. It's foggy as fuck. Ned drives to the final destination where the explosion is going to take place for the body. It's then in the plan for Ned to go to Miami so that he has an alibi and that he's not near the scene of the crime. So time goes by, Ned thinks things are back to normal, but he gets a call from Edmund's lawyer. Okay, Edmund's lawyer wants to meet up with Ned, he wants to meet up with Maddie, and he also wants to meet up with Edmund's sister, Roz. Okay, so he doesn't say why. So they all go to meet up one day, and Peter, Ned's lawyer friend, is also in the room. This lawyer is being dramatic as hell. I can't take it. So it turns out that Ned ended up making an error on Edmund's will. It's the same error that he actually made on another will in the past. It was a previous case that he worked on, and he worked on the will and he made the same mistake. This means that everything goes to Maddie and she won't have to split it with Roz, Edmund's sister, which was the plan if Edmund were to die. So Ned is pissed off because he found out that this was in fact Maddie who did this. She forged a signature. She forged Ned's signature. Peter, Ned's friend, his lawyer friend, seems very suspicious of all of this. Ned is a little upset with Maddie. He's like, I hope you didn't just fuck us over. This is when I started to notice that there were holes in Maddie's story. Like when she told the lawyer that her friend Mary Ann, who looks like her, was there to witness the signing of Edmund's will. Peter and Oscar, Ned's lawyer friends, they are telling Ned to stay away from her because it is just not safe. And what does Ned do? He ends up telling them that he's fucking her. I'm like, Ned, what are you doing? Maddie ends up telling Ned that she's a previous drug dealer and that it was Edmund who kind of saved her and gave her a job. I'm like, bitch, you should have told him this before you planned to unalive your husband. Okay, because if I were Ned, I would have doubts. Meryl Streep. At this point, I no longer trusted Maddie. Shit is starting to hit the fan, and Roz's daughter Heather is supposed to come and talk to the lawyers about the night she went to visit Uncle Edmund's place and she saw Aunt Maddie, with some strange man. Ned is not being smart about it. He actually goes and says hi to Heather. Now, I don't know if that was smart or dumb. I personally wouldn't have done it because what if that little girl would have clocked that shit? Also, Edmund's glasses were never recovered, even though the night he was unalived, he had them on. So what happened to his glasses? Peter and Oscar are now investigating Ned. They're looking at all the little details, including why he went to go down to Miami around the time of the crime. Peter is also noticing that Ned smokes the same cigarettes as Maddie, even though Maddie started smoking the same cigarettes as Ned. She's so sneaky. Peter tells Ned that someone actually does recover Edmund's glasses. So the night of the crime, Maddie called Ned's Miami hotel room several times. Ned is at the bar one night and he comes across a lawyer that he worked with previously on the Gorson case. This man tells him that he gave Maddie Ned's number long before they ever even met. And then that's when Ned wants to know, what did you tell her about the Gorson case? You know, the will that he messed up on. And this lawyer says, I did. So Maddie, Ned, you got played. She played your ass. So Ned gets a call from his arson guy. The arson guy wants to talk to him. He's saying that a really pretty woman came to see him about, getting some stuff, and that she even asked how to use it. So Ned knows, he clocked it, that this is in fact Maddie. So Maddie calls Ned and she says that she's in Miami. All right. She's like, but I did recover the glasses. Someone, I think it was Mary Ann maybe, allegedly placed them in a drawer in the boathouse, and she said you should go and get them. Bitch, Maddie. So Ned is at Maddie's house that night and they're talking, and she now knows that he now knows, and he's like, why don't you go and get the glasses from the boathouse? And she goes and it explodes. Oscar is there. He's waiting to arrest Ned because they have enough evidence against him. So Ned is in jail now and he is trying everything in his power to take Maddie down. And he comes up with one story that happens to be true, and it's that the body that was found in the boathouse that exploded is not actually Maddie's body, or maybe Maddie had a different identity this whole time. And so he got a copy of her high school yearbook and he saw that Maddie this entire time was in fact Mary Ann. So she did change her identity to kind of mask her past. Ned, you brought this on yourself. She played the shit out of your ass. Thank you to this person who left this comment. I love this movie.